Hi, everybody. It's Coffee with Lorelei. I'm so glad to have you join me for a little chat, and I'm so overwhelmed constantly by how willing you guys are to share your lives with me and share these, little glimpses of your story and honoring me with your questions and your trust. And I'm so grateful to be part of this community. So today's topic is POPs and core beliefs. So I got quite a number of these questions about how to bust your POPs and how to sort of firm up your core beliefs. So we'll get started. Let's see. The first question is, after training for over 1.5 years and having these its leave, then come back, I have emotions of, I'm unable to do anything about this. I know the program will work in the way it works, but I've always foreseen my healing taking longer. Am I setting myself up for taking longer, or did you know in your heart your recovery would take longer? So, excellent question, and I just want to say that, first of all, good on you for training for 1.5 years. And, I think one piece that I always like to add is the self-compassion piece, because it not only does it feel wonderful to give yourself some self-compassion, but it just kind of elevates that parasympathetic response and you give yourself a hug and say, you know what, 1.5 years and having its come back, that's hard. It's hard. And I know that sometimes the DNRS program is interpreted as, you make everything easy, which can be good, but it also can be invalidating. And they have shown that the limbic response and gets calmed right down when you actually validate that you're going through a tough rain shower. So I always like that piece. So, but you put the DNRS spin on it, right? It's like lots of self-compassion, and I say, you know what? It's tough to have the its go away and then come back, but there's a learning opportunity here. There's obviously some core beliefs and negative self-dialogue issues that need tweaking, and it's a learning opportunity, and I can handle it. So it's sort of embracing that strong aspect, but also validating that sometimes these issues are hard, and you need lots of self-care and lots of self-compassion. So then, I think part of the journey for everyone that I know is it's never linear. There's always ebbs and flows, and it's a process of becoming more and more aware, and also gaining more and more freedom, because the more that you're aware, the more that you can choose how you want to live your life. It's such a great gift, that gift of freedom. Say, you know what? Do I want to think this way anymore? Do I want to act this way anymore? Do I want to feel this way anymore? And having that sort of curious observer mode, and just kind of saying, you know what? I only have one life, and I have absolute freedom to choose how I spend it. You don't always get to choose what happens to you, but you always get to choose how you respond to it. So just kind of that sort of the ebb and flow of recovery, lots of self-care, lots of self-compassion, and to automatically label that it and say, you know what? I got an it. I wonder what false message got through, or, what am I worrying about? What am I feeling? What can I learn from this situation? And with regards to, knowing that, it's going to take a little longer, I think for me, that was a bit of a pop, that, because if you fortune tell and you say, oh, you know what, this is going to take longer, then you're already running that subconscious physiology. You're already triggering your limbic system saying, you know what, it's going to take longer because I'm got, this and this and this and this. And so, and it's sort of almost reinforcing that, that lie that I am broken, which we're not broken. We are learning, but reiterating to your brain that something's wrong with you and that that's why I don't really like the R word, the recovered word, because it's constantly referencing the fact that you're broken and you've got dis-ease or disease or, that something's not right. And that sort of feeling, that thought that something's not right can trigger that limbic fear response. So, I would probably, and like I said, I'm not a DNRS coach, I'm not a rewiring coach, but I think you have to be careful of how you handle that expectation of when you're going to recover, and just think of it as a transforming journey. You're becoming someone new. You're becoming more of your authentic self. It's such a beautiful journey, and kind of having that rest and, I don't know, almost calm that, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and it will happen when it happens. And, trying not to kind of say, oh, it's going to take, my journey is going to be long. On the other hand, so don't buy into that sort of forecasting, fortune telling, but also saying, you know what, if it takes a little longer, it's okay. I obviously have to learn certain things, and, it is sometimes the its can go away like overnight. So don't set up an expectation to have the it, because you can perpetuate it, but to just say, you know what, I know that, Lorelei is, been training for 4 years and 3 months now. March, April, May, June, 4 years and 4 months now. And because there's still more to learn. And I like, Lindsay Mitchell's, philosophy. She owns, Vital Side. And she said, I'm a lifelong brain retrainer. And I completely embrace that. I'm a lifelong brain retrainer too, because there's always more to learn. And there's, as we go along our journey, there's so many things to learn, so many wonderful things to learn. So, I think it's finding the peace that you're becoming something so beautiful and resting in that. And then just say, you know what, it'll take what it takes, and just look forward and just say, you know what, you're becoming. And, because it will happen. You just have to it's hard. I know it's hard. It's, especially if you have some its that are not comfortable, just let it go if you can, or do your best at letting it go. And I think that's all I want to say about that. I can't think of anything else. So, anyway, so that's my, answer. And let's see. So the next question is, how did Lorelei address core and limiting beliefs? Okay. So, I think, as I mentioned before, this is sort of an evolution process where you're actually becoming more and more aware. And I like the model of I like Deepak Chopra's model. He says that there's 3 levels of awareness, and I actually would, in my opinion, actually make it 4, because first is your unconscious. So let's say you're angry. You don't even know you're angry. It's just like you're just feeling it, and you're just stuffing those emotions down. You're not recognizing it. And you're sort of on autopilot where, perhaps somebody's triggered you and you're just angry, and you're so caught up in the emotion that you You're not even thinking about it. You're just on autopilot. It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction, sort of the reflex trigger, and then the reaction. And then he calls what he calls is conscious, which is, take a moment, become that curious observer, and just say, I'm angry. And actually notice that you're angry. Notice that your hands are clenched. Notice that that your face is, you're clenching your jaw and your face is tight. And he's like, I'm angry. So that's conscious. Okay, so you have the unconscious, then you have the conscious. And then he has what he calls aware, where you go, okay, I'm angry. Why am I angry? And to actually kind of pull back and think, okay, what happened? Did somebody push some of my boundaries? Did I take it personally? Did I make an assumption? Kind of analyze why am I angry? Like my husband, he didn't acknowledge the fact that I cleaned the whole house. And so, did I take it personally that he didn't acknowledge? Because maybe he was tired. Maybe his back is hurting and he didn't even notice. I mean, so just kind of to pull back and say, why am I angry? And kind of sit back and kind of give yourself a bit more of a helicopter view of what could be going on. And then I think for me, I almost like to take it to another level of kind of spiritual awareness, or sort of up at the sort of awareness of, we all have bad days, and, it's not about me. And, maybe I should go in and have a chat with him and say, hey, I noticed you're kind of lost in thought, what's going on, but also to take it even further and say, you know what, in the grand scheme of life, what are my priorities? I want my family to be healthy. I want my family to be happy. I want to contribute to the community. I want to have, I want to see that forever view of, I'm setting up this beautiful home for my family, and it makes me feel good so that I can contribute somewhere else. Like, if I want to volunteer at, UNICEF or World Vision or something like it, like to have that kind of forever view of how does this play into my values, who I want to be in this life, that kind of thing. So I think for a lot of people, we are kind of sitting in that sort of automatic pilot a lot of the times, and to kind of the more often you sort of come out of that automatic pilot, the easier it is, and the more that you notice that you're on automatic pilot. And I like to do these kind of mini rounds through the day where, let's say I've been working at the computer for 45 minutes and I take a little break and I just kind of ground myself in the moment and say, you know what? Be here now. I choose to be awake. And I look around and say, I choose to be awake. I choose to be aware. I choose joy. I choose to be thankful. And I choose to be here now. And then I usually do something like a gratitude practice, like, thank you for all that I have in this moment. Thank you for who I am. Thank you for what I can do and who I can be. Thank you for freedom to be aware, and freedom to choose my own reaction. So, and that is strict practice. I think, I know that lots of people sort of concentrate their rounds. I do too. I do sort of 2 rounds in the morning and 2 rounds in the afternoon. And then I do these kind of mini, well, I don't know, I call them mini moments where I'm just checking in with myself, and just because that's the person I want to be in this life now. I had enough of that hamster wheel where I was constantly doing stuff all the time. and not checking in with, you know what? I'm missing the moments of my own life. I am missing the best moments of my own life. Look, there's a butterfly. And look, oh, there's 2 butterflies dancing. And look at the smile on my son's face. And look at my daughter. She's so beautiful. And she's singing and she's playing her guitar. And look at my husband. He's so wonderful. You know, he's tired and he's paying the bills and he's got his own stuff. Like, it's just, don't miss the moments of your own life, the best moments of your own life. You know, just if you choose to be awake, you will. And then you can start, if you're awake, then you can start addressing all those core beliefs that come up because you're awake, you're noticing. So let's say, let's see, I'm trying to think of a good example. Let me just pause this and I'll just try to think of a good example. Okay, I thought of one. And you know, it's, so the limbic system, we're human. The limbic system is constantly checking and rechecking. You know, it's kind of like a viral software scan in our brain. It's checking the past to say, hey, what could I have done differently? Because, you know, I got this outcome that I didn't like and I was upset here and, you know, I felt shame here and, you know, constantly checking the past. And then it also jumps to the future and forecasts. It's like, well, you know, I don't want that to happen, so I got to worry about this and all that. And, you know, if I want this to happen, then I've got to do that. And constantly jumping back and forth from past to future. And even when you keep grounding yourself in the present moment, it tends to calm the limbic system down, but also it gives you the freedom to be aware of your thoughts and what's going on with yourself. So I think I was popping probably, I don't know, just a few months ago. So I haven't been able to hold regular employment for many years now, because my journey started in 2011 when I wasn't able to work regularly anymore. So then I've sort of had different sort of journeys trying to get back to work. So anyway, my limbic system was popping about finances and saying, you know what, you know, I've got to get back to work, got to earn that paycheck, got to go back to work. And my counselor actually pointed this out to me, and I'm so grateful to her. She said that, you know, for myself, my limbic system seems to want to always worry about something, when really, you know, I just needed some calming influences about, you know what, where I am right now, everything is okay. And my husband has a job, you know, and we're doing fine. You know, we live in Victoria. We own a house. I mean, really, she said, you know, we have water, we have food, we have electricity, you know, and kind of setting me back to, you know, that in my journey, I'm not speaking for anyone else. For my journey right now, I don't have to worry. My limbic system was limiting my awareness and limiting my imagination. And it had just sort of set on that because, I don't know, I guess it needed to find something to worry about. It's like, okay, I'm going to worry about my finances. And you know what? I will find a job when I find a job, and, you know, and my husband's still working, and it's just that, and I know the universe will provide, and you know, I have electricity, I have food, I have a great healthcare system, I have a great family. It's just that sort of, that noticing that pop, or noticing that core belief. And it sometimes, you know, it to constantly say, okay, I'm going to turn my limbic system off, because its automatic pilot is to worry, and it will take you down that rabbit hole. So you just have to kind of keep on pulling yourself back. And I think that how did you work to embrace your new core beliefs? So on a daily basis, sometimes twice a day, my limbic, in the beginning particularly, my limbic system, let's say something, because you know how we're supposed to do around when we get triggered. My limbic system would be so triggered that I actually could not concentrate on doing around. And so let's say something happened and, the brain goes into spin mode because the limbic system says, oh, ow, I didn't like that. I feel embarrassed. I feel fear. I feel worry. And it starts spinning, like where your thoughts keep on going in a vicious cycle. And it keeps on replaying the activity or trying to find a way out of it because it's in that, I don't like this. This is so uncomfortable. I got to get out. And so then you have to, for me, I had to calm it down before I could get the round done. And so I just start spinning. I have my new core beliefs memorized. And, basically I've shared them all with you on my, 4 laughter yoga videos. I'm self-care woman, I'm self-appreciation woman, and I'm a woman full of faith and grace. And I have this sort of list. It's not 27 because it's too much. I have this list of, I am one with now. I'm one with the universe. I'm one with life. And I sort of have, I'm letting go of responsibilities. In everyone's life, rain showers must fall, and each soul must walk their own path. So I have like all these core beliefs that I actually recite, and I go through every single one of them. I think they're probably about 15, maybe 20, but I usually find one where all of a sudden I'll feel my whole system settling down, and I go, oh. Okay, it needed to hear each soul must walk their own path. Or, I am safe, I am loved, I'm so much more than enough. Like, okay. And you could also almost feel yourself. And then I would know to kind of chase that sort of model of reasoning or my new belief. Like, go, okay, so let's say I was worrying about one of my kids. And it's like, okay, each soul must walk their own path. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm not responsible for anyone else but me. The universe's master plan, it's master timing. And, sometimes they have to learn things the hard way. Sometimes they can learn things the easy way, but sometimes they need to learn things the hard way. And, they have their own journey. I was sort of latch on to whatever core belief I needed to calm my limbic system down. And after a couple of minutes of doing that, then I could launch myself into a round and elevate my mood and sort of gain that calmness and peace and sort of that, that helicopter view. And, how it's not all about me, and it's not all about my kids, and we are safe, we are loved, we are more than enough, and we are well taken care of, and we have all the time and resources we need to be and do all that we're meant to be and do. And so, for me, it was that constant, and I still do it. I do it twice a day sometimes if I've noticed that I'm a bit triggered, because you get into this groove of where, okay, you found your calm place. And so you notice when you're out of your calm place, and, you found your grateful place, and you notice when you're out of your grateful place. So that sort of constant reciting of new core beliefs and new opposites, I would do probably the first 5 or 10, 15 minutes if I needed to before I launched into my 2 rounds in the morning. And then I would do it again in the afternoon before I launched into my 2 rounds in the afternoon. So, that is how I did that, embracing new core beliefs. And I am going to, oh dear, okay. This is getting really long. I'm going to end this coffee with Lorelei right now because I think it's 25 minutes. That's probably you don't want to hear me ramble on too much longer. I'm going to answer the next. Oh, there's another group of core belief questions. So I'll answer that next in another Coffee with Lorelei recording. But I just want to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. And thank you for honoring me with your questions. It makes me think a lot, and it's been good for me to actually think about these answers too. So before I pop off, I'd just like to let's just take a couple deep breaths. And let's go to our grateful and calm place. Let's be one with now, and one with the universe, and one with life. And we're just going to do a little gratitude right now. Thank you for all that we have in this moment. Thank you for who we are. Thank you for what we can do and who we can be. Thank you for this miracle of life. Now you take 2 deep breaths and feel the universe fill you with love and energy. Life is miraculous. I'm going to end with an Albert Einstein quote, which is one of my favorite Albert Einstein quotes, is there are only 2 ways to live life. One is that nothing's a miracle. 2 is that everything's a miracle. I choose everything. Have a great day.